it was a real estate agent who was appearing. It was taped in front of like a green screen, and it was just him on camera. And I won't say his name just to preserve his identity because this really catapulted my entire entrepreneurship. And he wa he just he wasn't very good. And I hate to say that because I mean it takes a lot of bravery to put yourself in
Yeah.
front of the camera. And this isn't a critique on him, but it was more a critique for me, as I say it now, on the station I worked with, because I know exactly how these conversations go.
Yeah.
They go with somebody saying, "Hey, X station, I want to do an infomercial." And X station goes, "Great, here's the price." And that person goes on and does their infomercial, submits their script, and they basically, put a camera person there and I guess what you would call a producer. And I only say that because of the next part of my story. And they execute this ad, and it's, whatever, 10 grand or whatever it would be, which is a lot of money for everybody. But, if you think it could bring you business, you're willing to do that, of course, right? It's an investment and you hope for a return on that investment. And I remember watching this ad and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, there's no way he's going to get business from this. It's just, he looks
Mm.
uncomfortable. I can tell he's nervous, and it's okay to be nervous, but his discomfort on camera made me uncomfortable, and I can't imagine I'd be the only one. Like it
Yeah.
was step away, go to the bathroom kind of commercial, not the kind you're drawn to, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we did when you had live commercials or commercials that were airing on broadcast television. And I remember talking to my colleague who was part of that. I'm going to say that part of that department. She wasn't a part of that commercial, but she's part of that department. And I remember her telling me how upset that this client of theirs, this real estate agent, was because he didn't get any leads. And so he did not have any return on that investment. And my first thing I said, and it was almost like I felt like I could rip it back in my mouth because I was pretty blunt. And I said, well, no kidding, because it was freaking awful. And I'm saying
Mm.
this internally. I would never say it to the
Yeah.
person's face, which is why I'm
No.
not saying it to you now, the name. Um, and the challenge was, or the thing that really hit home for me is he was mad at the station because he thought that the station didn't have any reach and the failure of his ad was because of the station. And
Mm.
my thing was, well, yeah, kind of, but not for the reason he thought. It had nothing to do with the placement of the ad. It had nothing to do with anything other
Mhm.
than the fact that I think the station didn't do their part in making sure he had the very best opportunity to have a
Yeah.
great experience. And that doesn't mean it comes at for free, but what I would have loved to seen is that he would have been offered an opportunity to, hey, maybe we got a camera coach available for you. We've got someone that can kind of work through and practice with you and all of this stuff. And that could have been me, it could have been anybody. But my point is the sales team just went, "Oh, okay, here, thanks for there's our money. Okay, do your ad. We'll put it there and we'll just let you go." And so as a
Mhm.
result, anyways, fast forward, he never did business with the station again. And that was unfortunate because they could have had a long-term customer. He could have had a great experience and
Mhm.
he didn't. So I started media training and that's where that started. So now when and I still do media training, but even with my live selling school, my goal is to set people up for success. And so that's why. That's my why.